Hey guys, Czar here. Just entered a trade while I was doing something else, actually working on another project and answering some DMs on Telegram, and just entered this, and now I'm just going to record it because I want to show you what this looks like. A little bit different than I would normally do. You'll see that we did get a close into this other zone, and then a big pullback. But I entered really early on the sell, despite the fact that there was still support here in its way. The reason I did that was because of what you see here on the 1 minute chart. You see this very smooth, orderly impulse wave down, and then an equal and opposite move back, almost a full. It was probably about, well, you can see more than 3/4 of the move, and then a blue candle, and then when that blue candle broke its own body is when I entered. I want to make sure I get the entry right here, 86.20. Yeah, that's I'm looking at my own platform, and that's where I entered. And you can see now that we're finding some buying, of course, at this support where you would expect. Prices broke, they retested, broke through, and back down again. So we're going to see now if this can pan out. If it does, I'm not just going for a scalp to fill this piece here, which you would normally see me do. I'm actually going to go for the entire zone within reason. Whenever I say entire zone, it's always a couple of points early on the zone, because that is where sometimes algorithms and other traders will be taking profits, and you will find that it doesn't make the full extent of the zones. We're going to watch this thing play out. I may pause you from time to time if it gets really kind of grindy and sideways to save you from having to sit through that. But for now, things are just kind of doing their thing. Now we're just going to trust the coin, right? When I say trust the coin, I mean, you can never trust a coin to do anything that you want it to, because it's a random outcome, right? It's an uncertain outcome. But we can trust the coin to land on heads more often than tails over time, if in fact it is weighted to heads, slightly weighted to heads. And my coin is, and I've proven that over time. Okay? Put you on pause now as we watch this, and I'll bring you back when anything happens, okay? Okay, guys, a few minutes have passed, and just still kind of grinding sideways here, a little bit of weakness coming in. Just wanted to kind of spare you all that. Getting a bit of a drop now. You see this 10-minute candle flipping to blue, and that's kind of what we want to see here, right? That's precisely what we want to see if, in fact, we're short. You're watching together now. This would be a 32-point trade. Just check over here to the left. Yeah. I'm going to make that 30 points even. 30 points even right there will be our target. We're asking a lot at this time of the day. This is lunchtime. It's 12:15 New York time. That means that New York is, quote, on lunch. And some people, of course, many people actually do go for lunch. And in the institutional world, and foundations and endowments and market makers and brokers and dealers and banks and asset managers and portfolio managers, mutual fund managers, ETF managers, you name it, they're all kind of have to eat, and they actually physically go for lunch. But what else is very important about this time of day is the fact that this is also when London and Germany have closed. All of Europe, their markets have now closed. They're literally done for the day. So that massive market of the London Stock Exchange and the Frankfurt Stock Exchange, the DAX exchange, is actually done there. So we have a very thin, well, we have a massive market. Of course, North America and the Western world is very big, but now we have many who are actually physically out to lunch, and some of them are figuratively out to lunch, as we often see by the chaotic market action. So things get a bit sloppy and sluggish. Often there's a sideways grind during this period, and we're sort of seeing this right here now as we speak. But markets can still move, and they can go. And sometimes they just drop by gravity. That's another reason why I'm kind of going for a bigger move here than just kind of closing this area, is because markets can fall by gravity during these lunch hours, and we see that. As a matter of fact, if I brought up and I will do this right now, I'm going to bring up a VWAP chart. And I'm going to show it to you. Right here, this is VWAP. You'll see that it's been quite a weak day since the open. The open was right here, if you remember. We had this big, started off as an up bar and then became a down bar. And we rallied to the first standard deviation, which is that yellow line there. Rejected violently like we did in the pre-market, which was London, of course. Now this is New York. And then drove all the way down to 2 standard deviations, pulled back up, drove back down 2 standard deviations, almost got back to VWAP and are now drifting down. And if we can drift down a few more points, we have the opportunity to get these 30 points that we're looking for here on this trade. I'll bring you back so you can see it. There it is here on the 10-minute chart as well. Just watching and waiting. So we're already, we've already reached 14 points here. Be tempting just to take that. That's what younger, newer traders, sometimes even traders who have been trading for 10 years, will consistently do. They'll see the profits on the table. They do not want to give them back. They'll go and take them, and that will cost them in the long run because they will end up taking full stops or full losses, but they won't be taking their full profits. And that's a problem from a mathematical standpoint, right? You'll hear me talk about that a lot because it's such a prevalent problem and an issue in the trading community. I'll tell you, it's a problem for my impulses as well. I want to do that right now with this kind of this dragging, grinding action. There's a part of me, not all of me, and not even the majority of me, but a part of me says, yeah, you know what? Let's just take this and get through this day. It'll be a profitable day, and green is green. You can't go broke taking profits, all this nonsense, right? It doesn't work in the long run. I'm going to stay with us now and see what happens. Having faith in the system. There's that rejection. So the forces that were here for this rejection wick are still very much there. And that could be a problem for this trade. Especially with the thin lunchtime crowd and Europe now being closed. Let's see though. Let's see what we can do. Moving my stop to break even. I'm moving my stop to break even. The worst thing that can happen now is we just make no money on this trade. It's been a profitable morning, very profitable morning for me. And those trades are all on the YouTube and sent to my Telegram group. Rejection continues. When you see rejection in a trade that's trying to hit a target, very often traders will feel rejected. They actually feel the rejection personally. I'm going to ask you to think about that, by the way, in your own mind, in your own heart, in your own DNA, in your own neurology when you're in trades. How does rejection make you feel? And then get to the point where you can admit that, you can label that emotion and then deal with it. Because that can turn you from a losing trader to a winning trader once you've mastered those emotions and those feelings that will never go away, by the way. But being able to label them and deal with them is where the power comes. I'm willing to give all this profit back so that I can get these 30 points. I can tell you right now that most traders are not willing to give it back. And that's a problem. For them, it's not a problem for me. The need to protect right now, the need to preserve and to take that off the table. I mean, it's right there. I could literally just take it right now. Then I'll have a victory. I can feel good about myself in this moment. Because I just have a really bad sense about this. This is going to, all of a sudden, this buying is going to come flying in here. Let me move that back. And take me out break even, and then I would have lost all of that. And that would be unfair. I know I'm supposed to wait to hit my target. I know I've moved to break even and I can't lose any money on this trade, but this is in essence losing because I'm giving back all this money that was sitting right there. As a matter of fact, I was up 25 points, 25 points. And what if I have to give that all back? That would be insane. You've had those feelings, right? Probably every day if you're a day trader or a scalper. But this internal battle, and what I just spelled out in some painful detail, is what separates the winning traders from the losing traders. You just heard it. And the moment that clicks for you, that what I've just been talking about is it, everything can change. My closest trading friends and colleagues know that I struggle with these same things, and I go through periods where I really struggle, and I will take profits off the table because I'm human, and I get tired, and I feel weak some days, or I'm having some interpersonal conflict of some kind, or my cat is really bothering me. Could be anything, right? Could be a migraine headache, which I do get from time to time. And I just can't be bothered to deal with these impulses that are getting me to take the profit off the table. So I just do it. I just close it, stop the pain, and I can justify it by saying, well, this is only one time. Normally, I'm really good at allowing this thing to play out. It's just one time, and I'm really not feeling well, so I'm just going to do it for that reason, right? We can justify anything. And the reality is, and this is what makes it challenging, sometimes it should be taken off the table. There are a few times when it really should be based on new information. Let me give you an example. These unfolding candles, now that there's a confirmation of players in this market right here and down here and down here. We can almost see them sitting here, very powerful buying during this lunch break. And it's powerful on a net basis, right? It's just a slightly more buying interest over selling pressure is enough to drive this thing up. And that's being confirmed right now. And so there is actually some reason to take profit here because of unfolding information. But to prove a point to you, I'm not going to today. We're going to watch this thing play out, even if that means giving it all back. Think of it as an exercise in discipline. Working out that discipline muscle. Working out that impulse control muscle. And discipline is a bit of a fallacy because we don't have much discipline as human beings. We really don't. It's a limited resource every day. We've got enough discipline when we first wake up in the morning to make about 3 decisions, and this has been shown. We get to make about 3 medium to large decisions, and every trade is a large decision, by the way, right? And then we're done. We just have no more discipline. We have no more willpower left for the rest of the day, period, until we sleep again. And then we fill up that discipline bucket once again, right? So discipline is a bit of a misnomer, but exercising the impulse control muscle is a huge one, and it's critical. And once you have that piece, magic happens. Moving my stop now to above here. You see that there? That's a logical place to move. Very high chance of being stopped out at that. You might be thinking there's a very high chance of hitting the target. Well, there actually isn't. We still have these rejections going on, and these parties on the 10-minute chart that are here, they're not just right at that tip and right at that tip. They're in here. They're in this area where we're asking our candle to blow through. There's a reason to believe that it can, and that's why I have that target. But it's not going to be that easy. As you can see, we've been fighting a little bit of a battle here, right? Stop now to above this candle. So we're trailing now, right? Because of advancing movement. Watching closely now. Stop now. Not yet. You need to turn blue. Stop now above that candle. Likely to get hit. Very likely to get hit, but it's a smart move at this point. I can see what's happening here. Willing to give back a little bit to get a sure profit now that we've had advancing price action. If the momentum shifts now and doesn't give us this last little piece, it means it's a good bet. It's a good idea from a business standpoint to take what we can on the trail. Nothing wrong with trailing stops. It's a very smart trading strategy, tactic, if you will. And we're out. Nice trade, guys. Nice trade. So we were out for 21.25 points. It may still hit our target. Very likely it will. We managed that beautifully. I want to thank you for joining us, guys. I think these were really good lessons today. From a mental game standpoint, this will be part of the mental game playlist on my YouTube channel. But thanks for being with me today. Thanks for staying with me. Thanks for working that through with me. And thank you for your support of the channel. Hope you have an amazing day. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.